Next up, we have Maṇi Padme Hum, Part 1, from the Risk of Rain to Seekers of the Storm, soundtrack by Chris Christodoulou. Once again, everybody, this is a Basterd's LFA, a layman-friendly analysis. I'm a professionally trained musician and composer, and my objective here is to explain things in a way so that you don't have to be one to understand what is happening here, musically. So, if you like the sound of that, make sure you're following the channel, subscribe to the channel, whatever channel you use, like the video, share the video, leave a comment, turn on notifications, become a member. Once again, everybody, don't forget to join the Discord server, the gaming channel. Thank you for 500 subscribers there, by the way. How to request songs if you're not on the live stream, members getting early access to the content. I have a spiel for this and a bunch of other things at the end of this video, so stick around for that. Disclaimers showing on your screen right now, so go ahead and pause the video to read them in full. Otherwise, please be patient with me. I am acoustic and guitared, so please keep that in mind. With that, let's do this. Maṇi Padme Hum. Let's go. Thank you, Omaya. I appreciate it. Okay, so we start with a synth very, very faint, giving us this initial melody, which contains our initial motif, I would say. Motif being the smallest version of your musical idea, the seed, the essence from which everything else comes from. Now, this is Risk of Rain 2. This is Chris Christodoulou. And Chris, he has some really, really good stylistic choices. And he uses a lot of improvisation, a lot of solos for his stuff. So yeah, with that, Nosh, how dare you abuse my own words? Let me go back a couple of seconds. How dare you? Let's go. You dare. Sorry, it's okay. I forgive you. So now we bring in, his music tends to be electrifying. So now we bring in a guitar and we are doing a transposition. Now to the guitar, we are moving from the synth over to the guitar. So there's the idea, and oh, thanks, Nosh. But how much more is money? Anyway, so now we are dealing with the idea of transposition. Transposition or transposing. Transposing is when you adapt something from one instrument to another. This is usually something done because of range. The range of an instrument, by the way, the range is just how high and how low the instrument can get. In this case, we are trying to transpose to the lower edge of, to a lower end of the guitar. Oh, good. Oh, I see what is happening. Okay, so we have this over here, and we are having a very interesting rhythm over here. We are probably going to deal with an odd time signature. Knowing Chris, it's probably going to be something like that. We're going to be messing around with rhythms very, very much. So let me be here a bit more. Let's see where this goes. So yeah, now we have a doubling. So we have the electric guitar and we have a synth higher up doing a doubling. Doubling is when you have more than one instrument playing the same thing at the same time. And we bring in some heavy metal drums. When it comes to a drum kit for heavy metal, and yes, somebody actually beat Amaya. So when it comes to a drum kit, as you can see over here, usually the way that drum kits, that regular standard drum kits are, is that you have one bass drum, and each bass drum has the kick pedal. Then you have the rest of the drums. However, metal drummers will very often either have two bass drums, one with each with one kick, or they will get a double kick drum or a double kick pedal, which just is a mechanism that allows you to have next to this pedal over here a second one that ties in here. Let me see, double kick pedal. Let's see if I can find it. It looks like this. These ones look like this. Very simple and straightforward mechanisms that then allow you to be able to hit the bass pedal with both feet, giving you this kind of stuff. Super popular in heavy metal. Extremely popular in heavy metal. And depending on the drummer, you might see some insane setups. Like, let me show you Mike Mangini drum kit. This is a real drum kit used by Mike Mangini, formerly in Dream Theater. The guy has been all over the place, and as you can see, This is probably worth more than a house. Alright, thank you for hanging out, Noj. Don't be gone too long, I'll miss you. Yeah, this kit alone is probably worth more than a house. These are, yeah, Stepanos Siberiano is another insane one. Yeah, each of these are usually worth like anywhere between several hundred, $7,000 each. And yeah, it's insane how much these can go for. Right now, we are using a fairly straightforward one. You'd love a kid like that? Yeah, that looks awesome. Yeah, Mike Mangini, of course, insanely good drummer. So yeah, let's see where this goes. We bring a guitar. So we bring it. So now we bring first the single guitar. Now we have multiple guitars. We have 3 now, giving us variations on the motif. Now we are doing this with some parallel motion. Parallel motion is a part of counterpoint. Counterpoint being the study of melodies, how they are, how they develop, how they interact with one another, usually in the context of having multiple melodies happening at the same time. Right now we have multiple layers of the guitar happening. And you can hear them individually, especially because of how they are panned. Panning is just which ear gets priority. That's the short version of it. You can hear that at the center. We have the first guitar. Then we have one more in the right ear, one more in the left ear. And parallel motion just means that you have most of it. Okay, so counterpoint is measured in motion. There's 3 main kinds of motion. There's contrary, there's relative, and there's parallel. These are the 3 main kinds. Some of them break down into a little bit more, and it can get a lot more complicated, right? So contrary motion means one melody is going one way, and then the other one is going the opposite way. This kind of thing. Relative motion, this one is probably one of the more complicated ones because of just how much it can really go to. This is where species counterpoint comes from, where you're having relative motion is basically they are doing either a combination of contrary and parallel motion, or there is a difference in the rhythm. The example that I love to give is Invention Number 4 in D minor by Bach, right? We have So we have that going on where we are mixing and matching and doing all this kind of stuff. And yeah, you have to play it on the harpsichord. If you ever play anything by Bach, it has to be on a harpsichord or a clavichord, not on a regular piano. It has to be done in one of these older ones because that's the instrument of the time, right? So we're having that. And then there's parallel motion where you are just having all the melodies happening the same shape at the same time. So it could be octaves. It can be away, that kind of thing. And Woodrow, welcome today. How you doing? Settle on your first night. Lovely. So yeah, let's see where this goes. But you're playing it on an electric piano? No, I'm playing it on an emulated synth thing. So yeah, let's see where this goes. Baroque tuning, yes. Alright, we switch over immediately to a more tribal. Okay, we bring Eastern instruments. And we're hiding the motif. Oh, and we're slowly dripping the guitar and the drums back. It's been a bit. It's my bad. It's okay, I forgive you. So there you go. We bring in new drum beat. We bring in the new version. We bring in another variation of the motif with under a new drum beat. And my God, is it cool! Let's see where this goes. There you go. Variation this time, adding a little bit more to the end. Sometimes one of the percussions just sounds like it just sounds like the metronome click. That's a leitmotif. Also, we have a leitmotif here. Okay, so it seems in this case we have a leitmotif going on over here. Sometimes I miss these, but yeah, a leitmotif is a motif that is being reused. There is a leitmotif. Okay, so I'm probably not going to recognize it, but leitmotif is a motif that is reused later down the line by the composer or the same studio or the same house for the purposes of referring back to the original material. This is a concept that was coined by Richard Wagner during his ring cycle of operas. The ring cycle of operas, of course, being 4 operas that he made. It's a tetralogy, quadrology. It's 4 operas that tell the same story. So that's a lot of music. Like, the total duration is anywhere between 12 and 16 hours of music, depending on the performance. So that's a lot of music. So what Wagner said, what he realized is, I should be able to reference things back and keep things going. So what he did is he decided to write little themes for things, which he ended up calling the leitmotif. For example, Valhalla. In the first opera, Das Rheingold, it's the building of Valhalla. So you have, it's Norse mythology, there's Odin, there's Thor, there's Freya, there's all of these. And whenever Valhalla is shown or spoken about or in any way referenced, you will hear the Wagner tubas play the Valhalla motif, the Valhalla leitmotif. And this happens throughout the entirety of the series. So this is basically that. It's basically a theme. Every leitmotif is a motif. Not every motif is a leitmotif. A motif becomes a leitmotif when it is reused by the same composer or the same studio or the same owner of the copyright in a different work, in a separate work, to reference back to the original. Otherwise, if you are a composer that, let's say, if I were to then take the O Maṇi Padme Hum and do the motif that we're hearing right now, this would be called a quote, because I am referencing back to somebody else's work. As the theme, Survivors at Void was Funeral, was Seekers of the Storm was Rebirth. Nice. Let's see where this goes. There's Spaceman. Nice. So now we're getting mad. It sounds like a metronome, dude. It's funny. Alright. What qualifies a leitmotif? When it is reused in a future work to reference back to the original. So, let's take, for example, what would be an easy leitmotif to remember? What would be an easy leitmotif that we could think of? There are many leitmotifs. But there's one. That is from Final Fantasy. That is the victory leitmotif, the battle victory leitmotif, which is used throughout the entire series to reference back to victory. There's the Zelda, for example, the save file, arpeggiated, that kind of stuff, and yes, that's usually how you recognize them. Anyway, let's see where this goes. Welcome back, guys. Oh, fading it back in, bowing back in, and super proggy. Invincible Star 2? Yeah, that too. Doing the doubling again. Man, it's such a weird rhythm. We switch again, bringing the Eastern instruments back, and we switch it to a more dance-like 6/8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again. And we are getting variations of the motif. Now, the motif is being done in variations using partial variations. We are using a lot of partial reductions, partial elongations, and it's primarily that. So a reduction is when you play a faster version of something you've done before. An elongation is when you do a slower version of something you've done before. And this motif is being developed so that we are changing the time it takes for the motif to play, and we are just stretching or compressing the different durations of the notes so that it fits in what we are doing and what we are doing during that time. Very, very, very intricate. Chris, man. Let's see where this goes. So yeah, right now it's like the Zitar, that's one is holding the motif, while the rest is holding more like the chords. And Now we bring the guitars again, parallel motion, variations there. And every once in a while, we have a variation where we add a couple of extra notes, usually at the end, so that we are still getting that initial leap. By the way, the kind of leap that this is, it's called an escape tone. An escape tone is when you do a motif that is stepwise motion followed by leapwise motion. So let me I had to bring them up, right? So when it comes to single melodies, we have the idea of motion. There's upwards, downwards, forwards, of course, repetition. And then we have stepwise motion, leapwise motion, which is the distance that you can cover. These are based on intervals. Interval is the distance between notes. So let's take, for example, the key of C major. Let's keep it simple. C, D, E, F, G, A, B. And here we go. So the way that an interval works is that you go for whichever note you're using as reference. In this case, we're going to use C for the sake of simplicity. And that is going to be our root or our first, right? Like our number one. First, then D would be a second away. E would be a third away. F, fourth. G, fifth. A, sixth. B, seventh. C, it's not eighth, it's octave. This is where the term octave comes from. It's the eighth note, it's the repetition of the note that you already had. So we are having that. And then from the original, you can still count up to 15, which is the second octave. And, yes, Megumi. Yes, Megumi. So we are having that. And then from there, we get the different types of motion. Stepwise motion is when you are moving upwards or downwards 1 second away, up to a second away. So that would be, if we were in C, up to D immediately next to it, or down to B immediately next to it. That's it. That's stepwise motion. Leapwise motion is anything greater than a second. So C to anywhere that is not the D or B that are immediately next to it. So it could be C up to E, C down to A, C up to the B above over here, or C down to the D below here. And it's all, as long as it's not, we have leapwise motion. Now, the escape tone, this is usually something done in non-chord tones, but we're not going to get into that right now. An escape tone is usually you have same direction, a step. No, I think it's usually contrary, like you switch direction. No, I think you can do that. An escape tone is basically stepwise motion followed by leapwise motion, and in this case, we're doing it downwards. Or, you know, we're having this kind of, we're going from C down to B, then down to E. So we go from C, stepwise motion, and then leapwise motion. So yeah, let's see where this goes. And now we're messing around. Where's my sword? I ain't got no swords. Introducing a solo to this. So good. So yeah, now in good Chris Christodoulou fashion, we bring a solo for the synth. When you're making music, you want to keep a careful balance between what is familiar and what is new. Too much familiarity, too much repetition, too much of the same thing, you risk boring the listener, they tune out. Too much new material too quickly, you risk overwhelming the listener, they tune out. There is one universal exception, what we're seeing over here. Every style and genre has this, which is solos. You bring in a solo, and as long as it sounds cool enough and it fits enough, you can get away with pretty much anything. Almost anything. And right now, that is precisely what we are hearing. We are hearing that we are doing the motif, and then we're going off doing some really cool scales and leaps and all that kind of stuff. Then we bring back the motif, and then we go do something awesome. So we are going a balance between the two. Let me see where this goes. Oh, it's so good. Oh, that high note. God. What I love about this is that this was recorded live. And many times you can tell if something was recorded live or not. Like, yeah, maybe this was like fine-tuned in the recording software, but it was recorded live. And oh my God, it sounds so good. So, is there something about the music being played by a live instrument, like by a live player, that is just really difficult to emulate as a composer? That is one of the biggest challenges that if you're making music, that is one of the biggest challenges, to make something that you don't play sound like it's being played by a human. It's a very, very difficult thing to emulate. So now the rest, this sounds like, with all the slides that we are getting, this was probably recorded live and then fine-tuned on the software. Cathartic feeling, generally start bouncing around like a fool. It's so good. It's so good, especially the way that that the solo is brought in. Many times in music you have like the 3 pattern that you build up to that climactic. First we had the slower part, then we started speeding up, and now we're going for it. So yeah, let's see. It's a bit rougher on the edges, yes. Oh my god. And yeah, right now these really fast notes that we are playing, we just call them runs. So yeah, we're doing some runs over here, up and down, and just going insane. Let's see. Drum speeding up as well. Okay, so now we're doing some arpeggios. Arpeggio, once again. I think we already explained it when you play a chord 1 note at a time. For example, here's C minor. Here is arpeggiated. So now we are doing a bunch of arpeggios up and down, and I think we're outlining the motif with that. We are outlining the motif, and we are taking the shape of the motif, and instead of playing it in the individual notes, it's the arpeggios that we are playing that are playing the motif. Oh my god, that's awesome! Let's see. Yeah, these little moments that are just on the edge of being on time. Yeah, this is done live. And off the ramp we go. Off the ramp being a colloquial term that I use. Colloquial, by that I mean there's no official academic definition for this, or at least I'm choosing not to use it for the sake of simplicity. And off the ramp is what I call a particular type of transition that makes your listener feel suspended up in the air at the mercy of inertia, waiting to see where you land, kind of like going off a ramp. How do you do this? Remove the drums. Maybe the bass as well. Which is what has happened just here. We've brought back the guitar. Let me hear a bit more. Guitar, one of the synths. So the guitar is playing the accompaniment. The song is a journey. Every Chris Christodoulou track is a journey like that. Oh, one more. We tease that whole thing one more time. And there you have it. Oh my god. I am surprised at how straightforward each individual component was and how complex he made it. And this was primarily based on rhythm. So, when you're making music, you have 3 components: melody, harmony, and rhythm. There's 2 more parts to this, so there's sequels to this. So yeah, melody being your individual horizontal lines, counterpoint, that kind of stuff. Harmony by far being the most complex out of the 3. The notes that you have available to you, the scales you get out of that, the chords you get out of that, the relationship between the chords, the relationship between the sets, and you can just keep extrapolating. It gets super complicated. And then you have rhythm. Rhythm being the use of time. How fast, how slow things happen, when they happen, that kind of stuff. Tempo, this kind of thing. It usually is subdivided into bars or measures, same concept, which are then determined by a time signature plus a tempo mark or BPM. BPM being beats per minute. Now, usually this is going to be 2 numbers, right? Let me just explain this because I'm going somewhere with this, right? Let me cook. So it's going to be 2 numbers: upper number and lower number. Upper number is the number of beats that you're gonna have in the measure. Lower number is the kind of beats that you're gonna be counting in your metronome, so to speak. In American English, it's pretty easy to remember. Whole notes are represented by number 1, half notes by number 2, quarter notes by number 4, eighth notes by number 8, 16th notes by number 16, so on and so forth. 1 whole note contains 2 half notes, 1 half note contains 2 quarter notes, 1 quarter note, 2 eighth notes, etc., etc. So a 4/4 bar is going to be 4 quarter notes, and you're just going to count 1 through 4 based on the quarter notes that you have. And everything else within, you're going to be doing subdivisions. So, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, this piece, we were bouncing back and forth between 4, 4 and 6, 8. Two of the most popular time signatures that exist. 6, 8. Once you start going into eighths and lower, you don't want to just count the individual ones, you want to subdivide them a little bit. In the case of 6/8, the most popular subdivision that there is 2 groups of 3. That way, you get this very lovely waltz-like structure to it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Kind of thing. There are some overlaps. For example, 3, 4 has the same number of notes as 6, 8, but the way that it is counted is going to be different. Whereas 6, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So in that case, usually, this is where a lot of people get it mixed up, that these tend to have, they're usually built for their own purposes, but you can always mix and match as long as you get the message across. Don't forget, a lot of theory, a lot of notation, a lot of these things, the purpose of them is to communicate with other musicians. Just like with any other language, you have many ways of achieving this. I'm just giving you what would be the simplest, clearest way of doing this. So yeah, we were bouncing back and forth between 4, 4 and 6, 8 throughout this piece, but the motif itself was smaller than either of these two. It was smaller. It was a very weird. I don't even think you could just make it a bar for, like, you could probably figure out a time signature for it, but it was built to be odd so that it wouldn't really fully fit on either 4, 4 or 6, 8. And as a result, we ended up having the elongations, the reductions that would then force the motif, because at the very, very beginning we heard the original motif and it had its duration and it had its weird rhythm to it, and once we started putting it in 4, 4 and 6, 8, we started adapting it to the rhythm, which gives ended up having such an unbelievable effect of the motif was ever changing. There was never one version of the motif. It was always something different. It was ever changing, and that is very difficult to achieve. That is very, very difficult to give so many variations of it and not being able to pinpoint which one is the motif, the original, because you're using so many of them and you're moving the around. You're doing such minor variations to each of them that it's really difficult to pinpoint which one is the real one. So that I have to hats off, man. If I could wear hats, hats off, because that was awesome. And there you have it. That was Om Mani Padme Hum Part 1 from the Risk of Rain 2 Seekers of the Storm soundtrack by Chris Christodoulou. That was awesome, dude. Once again, everybody, this has been a Basterd's LFA, a layman-friendly analysis. I'm a professionally trained musician and composer, and my objective here has been to explain things in a way so that you don't have to be one to understand what's happened here musically. Hang on, what's your take on irregular time signatures, odd time signatures? They're a lot of fun. They can be a lot of fun, completely ruined by the gent and the jazz crowd, but they're a lot of fun. They can be a lot of fun. Yeah, they can be a lot of fun. Gent as in gent. As in gent. Gent and jazz crowd, you know, the music snobs, the composers in the academia, that kind of thing, they just ruined it for everybody. But they're a lot of fun. They're a lot of fun. You don't like jazz? No, I like jazz. I like jazz cats. Jazz cats are cool. I don't like jazz holes. There's a big difference between jazz cats and jazz holes. Jazz cats are cool. They're fun to hang out with. They're fun to make music with. Jazz holes are not. Jazz holes are not. And once you're a musician, you will be able to tell that, like, once you're a musician and you've interacted with enough musicians, you will be able to tell very, very quickly who is a jazz cat and who is a jazz hole. Like, this applies to every genre and every style. And, yeah. And yeah, like if you're a musician, these are the two genders in music. You have jazz cats and you have jazz holes. Please elaborate? No. The Polyphias of the world? No. No, Polyphia, they're cool. They are cool. I am talking about the contemporary avant-garde. What about jazz dogs? There's no jazz dogs. It's jazz cats or jazz holes. So some jazz instrumental pieces are good, and you know, the overwhelming majority are at least 100 years old. Same with classical music. The overwhelming majority of the good music you hear out of the conservatories is at least 100 years old. And that's what I do this. People who glaze giant steps, for example, that kind of person that believes that there's the right way to do this, and that they are a snob, and that they will dismiss anybody and everybody. That's a jazz hole right there. That's a jazz hole right there. It was basically because of jazz holes that I started this whole series of LFAs. Because it was some jazz hole, some classical fucking bootlicking jazz hole who was like, oh yeah, like you're not intellectual enough to appreciate some of the music, and yeah, the right way that nobody likes. Yeah. So yeah, no. So yeah, it's that. It's that. Anyway, with that, there you have it once again. Oh, Maṇi, Padme. Once again, everybody, this has been a Basterd's LFA, layman-friendly analysis. I'm a professionally trained musician and composer, and my objective here has been to explain things in a way so that you don't have to be one to understand what's happened here musically. So, if you're watching this in the YouTube video archive thing, thank you for watching. Make sure you're following the channel, subscribe to the channel, whatever turn you to use. Like the video, share the video, leave a comment, turn on notifications, become a member. Once again, everybody, don't forget to join the Discord server. That's where everything gets announced first. Whether there's the streams going live, the videos going up in the channels, updates, projects, giveaways, everything gets announced there first. Of course, we have the community there. We hang out, we chat, we steal memes from other people's servers, claim them as our own, and where I host the Vintage Story community server. It used to be a Minecraft mod, now it's its own standalone game. I love it, I prefer it, which is why I give away this game all the time. And I love the game so much I built a server. I built a PC just to host a server for it, which is available via the Discord server. So once again, join our community today, linked in the description. Join the Discord. Also, you share these videos with everybody that you know. Use the hype function on YouTube. We have a group on the Discord that coordinates for that, linked in the description. Help the channel grow. Yes. Musicians, Chris, artists, or anybody else out there on YouTube or elsewhere, this is an open invitation. If you want any of my musical skills for any of your projects, whether it's my guitars, Mongolian throat singing, you know, the little kind of thing, regular singing, voice acting, whatever it is, reach out, let me know, let's work together, let's make stuff, let's collaborate, right? And if you're in the audience and you know somebody that you would like me to collaborate with, reach out, let them know. Please do not harass anyone, please don't spam anyone, be cool about things, don't be a rat. Members get early access to the content. I schedule the videos for the week on Saturdays, and if you're a paid member on YouTube, regardless of your tier, you get access to the videos when I schedule them, at least for the LFAs, so become a member today. If you want to listen to this without me interrupting under 3.5 seconds, I'll be linking in the description down below. If you want to request a song and you're not on the live stream, check the pinned comment on this video. It has the instructions of what to do. If you want to catch the streams when they happen live, we aim for Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Central European Time. We stream live on Twitch, YouTube, and Kick so that you can tune in from whichever platform you prefer. Again, 6 p.m. Central European Time. If you're not in Europe, do not worry. We have the full up-to-date streaming schedule showing in your local time zone in both Discord and Twitch. Another reason to join the Discord. So if you live in Pichi Parga and you're like, yeah, but what time is 6 p.m. in Hungary? I don't live there. Do not worry. Just go to Discord or Twitch and it's going to show in your local time zone. And follow the gaming channel. I have a gaming channel because, of course, I have a gaming channel. I'm on YouTube. What else could I possibly have? Games are Basterd. That's where I put the gaming after show recordings when they happen. Recorded live during the main channel's after show. The recordings go here. Thank you again for 500 subscribers. Yeah, we play games during the after show of the live stream. And then whatever VODs happen, go here. Lately, we've been playing through Olympus Company. And, yeah, everything that we play goes here eventually, so linked in the description, or just search on YouTube, same username as James R. Basterd, just put the J for a G, and you got it. And, yeah, there you have it. Oh, Maṇi, Padme, Hum. Risk of Rain 2, man, Chris is awesome, dude. Such good music. Really good stuff, man. Really good stuff. But, yeah, let's move on.